This is a fun record! Whether you're 36 years old or 4 years old, Viva Las Vengeance is a danceable, fun record with a punch packed into the bowl. But is it fun good? And if so, how much good fun is it? How good can it get? Make sure to see all the excitement down the last very second of this video, and make sure that you subscribe for baldness. The title track is a smash hit, both in numerical form and just in social performance. With 12 bajillion streams, this song is an earnest track that builds to a bridge that leads me straight to the Talking Heads Spotify page, because Brandon Urie is on a road to nowhere. I'm on a road to nowhere, running to a road to nowhere. Ah! You guys like my Billy Joe and Nora poster? With Brandon Urie being on a road to nowhere in the vein of Talking Heads, it's almost impossible to ruin that line of thinking.
My son just loves saying the band's name, and he wishes that their lyrics were just the band screaming, "Panic at the Disco! Panic at the Disco!" over and over and over. Wouldn't that be kind of interesting if they did that? Let me know in the comments if you know of any place where the band actually says "Panic at the Disco" in their lyrics, because that would be really cool. So, like I said, we got to middle of the breakup, and like any good real 4-year-old, dude repeats the worst parts of the song, right? And I'm waiting just to get a call about that middle of the breakup nonsense. Oh boy. I love that song. It's one of the highlights of the record, and possibly my favorite off of Viva Las Vegas. But let's keep rolling like Limp Bizkit, shall we? Don't Let the Lights Go Out is a much needed come down to the such excitement, taking us back to the past of Back to the Future in an incredible gasping vocal that reminds us both of 2000s pop and elegant love-laced balladry. Who's gonna drive me home tonight, baby? You're the only one. You're the only one. Absolutely mesmerizing. Don't Let the Lights Go Out. The bass playing of who I suppose is Brenton Urie is just fantastic. If you watch my previous 2000 videos, you might get that joke. His name is not Brenton, but you guys are going to correct me anyway. Wink! Local God soars with the glorious harmony of this one-man miracle band. This song's picture is beside the word bop in the dictionary. It's not the Everclear classic, which I love, but the Panic at the Disco song is their classic, baby. The hits just keep on coming with this record. The intro to Star Spangled Banner harkens back to some actual punk rock before doing what sounds like a spot-on interpretation or interpolation of The Boys Are Back in Town by Thin Lizzy. I've also listened to that Thin Lizzy album, and I kind of got sidetracked with this, and I started to go through the Thin Lizzy album and write my review based on that. That was kind of weird. Fortunately, I caught it because I was like, what is happening? This Panic at the Disco stuff got really crazy all of a sudden. I heard a lot of really cool YouTubers. Shout out to what's his name? John over at ARTV. He called this album Queen Worship, and that is true. But that Thin Lizzy line, man, that's all original me, baby. Subscribe. From Rocky Horror Picture Show to Thin Lizzy, the obvious Freddie Mercury churchery, you may be wondering if there's anything original on Viva Las Vengeance, and I'd say yes, there is. These songs are influenced heavily by some of the 70s best music, and it utilizes it in a musical world that we have here in 2022, a musical landscape where everyone else is beating a dead DeLong horse to death with schlocky bro noise for vocals. with a choice between this sound or that new emo sound, that MGK stuff, I'll take the Mercury Orbit. It just feels good up here. I guess that could be one of my only gripes about Viva Las Vengeance. The heavy inspiration taken from 1970s artists, it does tempt me to jump out of the record and just go listen to a Thin Lizzy album or a Ramones record. And, once you fire up a Queen album, it is hard to stop. Super Soaker brings the fanboy in me exactly what I want, with a little tiny drop of Father of All era Green Day. Sugar Youth, Sugar Soakers, it's freaking fine, baby. T-Rex, like the Ramones. Do you remember rock and roll radio? Do you remember rock and roll radio? Something about Maggie is Brenton / into Beatles territory. And it's like he's done earlier with quality rock. He succeeds even with such a risky direction, even as the Beatles' ology falls off this bug, and we explore the further reaches of Bohemian Rhapsody over the course of the final stretch of the record. It's like a day in the races. Like I said, like the final, I'd say, quarter of this record, it does feel like we're a night at the opera, a day at the races, and the album it sounds like Queen. Did I mention that this album sounds a whole lot like Queen? A whole freaking lot like Queen. And with that band seemingly done with new recordings, I'll take this. I really freaking like this a lot. All by yourself. It's another perfect highlight in a mountain of gold. I know you're looking for a ruby in a mountain of rocks. I've always hated sports. I buzz my hair short. I've dyed it pink a time or two before I shaved it all off, when I still had some to dye. I've lived forever in a day, baby. All by myself, all by myself. I can change everything all by myself. I'm the queen. Michael Jackson sounds emote from some places on this album, and that's pretty cool too. Oddly enough, Stone Temple Pilots get name dropped along with the Dead Kennedys, and just this album is so poppy and pristine and slickly produced, but with mentions of Dead Kennedys and Ramones references and Thin Lizzy, this is just for a rock and roll fan, this is just a really interesting album, and in both musically and lyrically. I like that Branton has gotten so just so unafraid to be himself.
Hey, buddy. Hey, guys. Viva Las Vengeance sounds like 1970s rock and roll, and just made fun again for 2022 generations. The BU himself nails it. Even when he's going into these territories that most artists would not dare to even attempt for the fear of coming across as cringe. And there's no sense of that here. There is no fear in the BU guy himself, Brandon Urie. There's no fear of cringe. Kind of like my channel here on YouTube. I don't fear the cringe. Check out this hat I got at Home Depot.
Do you fear the cringe? Do ya? You fear the cringe.
Okay, that was a bit cringe. I am giving Viva Las Vengeance a 4.8 out of 5. I really loved it. This is the first Panic at the Disco album that I've really...
I'm Vengeance.